Okay, so for today's video, we're going to be talking about a story that's coming from Canada in New Brunswick. Now, the premier has been kind of getting some backlash for doing a little bit of a policy review. This video is from 12 days ago, and then there was an update that happened 6 days ago. So we're going to be playing a few clips, kind of breaking them down, and yeah, here we go.
Good evening. Debate in the New Brunswick legislature was dominated by comments made yesterday by Premier Blaine Higgs in defending a review of Policy 713 on gender diversity. CTV's Allison Sampson starts us off tonight.
I'd like to give him the opportunity to maybe clarify and correct some of the things said in the scrum.
Speaking in the New Brunswick legislature, the premier stood by yesterday's comments in question period today.
Does she think there should be drag time, story time for young kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2? Does she think that's appropriate, Mr. Speaker? We're dealing with young minds.
Fair question.
Exposing kids to the diversity of people and professions in our community is a way to reduce hate and to breed love.
Higgs is
Okay, so you're telling me that in order to breed love and acceptance, we need to be exposing kindergartens and elementary kids to drag shows? Like, what world are we living in where these dots are being connected and people are like, yeah, that makes sense? It's just mind-blowing.
also standing by his government's decision to review Policy 713. He pointed to students under 16 changing their preferred first name and pronoun without informing their parents, saying parents should know what is happening with their children and schools should keep them informed. The province's education minister supports the review.
We're going to talk to our children, we're going to talk to our advocates, we're going to talk to our experts, and we're going to look at Policy 713 and see what things we need to look at. What is the role of parents in our public education system? I think that's a real important question.
PC cabinet ministers are backing the review of Policy 713.
I think it's important to have the review. I think it's important to understand that we have to be compassionate, respectful to people that have, especially students and kids, that have, different sexual orientation and whatnot.
I don't have a personal issue with drag queens, most certainly I don't, or anyone in the LGBTQ plus community. I strongly support.
And that's great. As an adult, if you don't have a problem with drag queens, that's fine. But again, we don't need to be incorporating them into the children and into the education system. That doesn't make any sense. And to piggyback onto the previous statement about 16-year-olds being able to change their pronouns and or their names and have the teachers not say anything to the adults. Kids under 16, or even under 19, aren't allowed to do anything without their parents' permission. Not allowed to get a tattoo, you're not allowed to drive, you're not allowed to drink, you're not allowed to smoke. Like, there are so many things that you're not allowed to do without your parents' permission, even go on certain trips or, with the school and stuff like that. Yet they think it's okay to change their own name and go by a whole nother identity and tell the teachers that the teachers can't tell the parents without the kids' permission. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
For the safety of children in schools, and the LGBTQSI students within the schools, and I will use my voice to continue to advocate for them.
As I said, so that's the end. That was 12 days ago. This is the new video that just came out, and listen to the craziness that's in here.
New Brunswick legislature.
An increasingly common sight in New Brunswick this month, high school students rallying against.
What a small crowd here. This is what they're trying to peddle all of this to. This very small minority here. It's not to say that they're not important and that they don't matter, but like, why are we rallying behind this? I don't get it.
Against a review of a provincial policy that's aimed at protecting LGBTQ students in schools.
It could lead to kids not wanting to go to school and dropping out and things like that.
The policy sets what it calls minimum requirements for schools to provide a safe and inclusive environment, supporting students who self-identify their gender.
Okay, There's no way that these kids are going to school and they don't feel safe. Because what? There's no pride flag up, or there's no, policy that's saying that they're allowed to change their pronouns or their names. How does that make it unsafe for them? You go to school to learn. You're learning a curriculum. It's not an identity Olympics. It's not like you. Nobody cares about that. You go to class, you learn your subjects, you pass your, you get good grades, you move on. That's all people care about. That's what school is for. And unless all of these kids are getting bullied and beat up because they're simply gay or trans or whatever, and nobody is doing something besides saying, oh, it's a safe space, then I think that should be the issue at hand.
Emmanuel Jackson was president of a high school gender sexuality alliance when the policy was adopted in 2021.
The need for a safe space and comfort and just feeling like they can belong somewhere is very important to children's growth.
God.
And it's
The coddling is incredible. The feeling of security and safety, I don't want to judge somebody on their looks, but I mean, look at the amount of piercings this person has, the look that they're presenting, the you have an agenda, clearly. How does this make any, how does this benefit you in any certain way? That you stick out a little bit more, that people understand that you're part of that? Why does that identity matter so much? Who cares?
that they need.
The government says it received hundreds of complaints about the policy, so
And these are the three main policies that needed to be reviewed.
it's reviewing 3 elements. One lets kids use washrooms that align with their gender identities.
No.
Another lets them take part in activities, including sports teams, consistent with their gender identities.
No, because as we've seen, female sports are getting dominated by men who are identifying as women. And again, females shouldn't have to share their space like change rooms or bathrooms with biological men. It doesn't make sense.
And a third lets students under 16 adopt new names and pronouns at school without their parents being told.
That's why we have parents. And to suggest that it's okay that parents don't need to know, I mean, let's just stop and think about that question.
Exactly.
The review has prompted rallies and online petitions to save the policy, though there are New Brunswickers who support the government.
I think it's wrong that they're trying to keep things from the parents because the parents know what's best for the children. It's their child. They have the best interest for their children.
The Premier says he'll protect the safety and rights of all students. Some MLAs question whether his personal views are driving the review.
Are we trying to teach tolerance and acceptance, or are we trying to teach promotion?
Several members of the Premier's own caucus are now questioning the review.
Which is crazy that anybody would be questioning that review. He has a great point. It should be a policy that benefits all kids. There's no reason that you should have a protected group, that you have special priorities and privileges over others in some sort of protected group. That doesn't make any sense. You're all students, you all go to the same school, you're all learning the same subjects. It's not like the straight kids are getting better grades because they're straight and the gay kids are not getting good grades because they're gay. All you have to do is focus on your schoolwork, get through your elementary, high school, whatever it is, and just be kids, grow up, have friends, go outside, play in the dirt, play in the grass, get off your phone, get off this whole identity of, this is so exhausting. Anyways, love to hear what you guys think about this, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Whew.